Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. And last week we made a acorn. This week we're going to make a squirrel. I just thought, well, who collects those acorns? We might as well make a squirrel. So anyway, we are going to use brown, dark brown, and blue. Just three colors, so this ought to be an easy square to do. I'm going to start out with the dark brown. And we're going to start with a chain 2. Alright, and then in that second chain from the hook, we're going to put a single crochet and 2 doubles. Alright, that is called a falling leaf stitch, and that's what it looks like. So we have one square made. So one falling leaf is a whole square. Okay, so row 1 is only one square. So row 2, chain 2 and turn. Alright, again in the second chain from the hook, and you will begin every row this way for the next 24 rows. So there is, we're putting that that falling leaf stitch in that second chain from the hook. Again, there's one square. Now we need to skip the next 2 stitches. So these 2 stitches right here are double crochets, and this last stitch over here is a single. And in this pattern, you'll always be crocheting in a single crochet. You'll never crochet in the doubles. You'll always be skipping those. So we're just going to put another falling leaf stitch in that single crochet, and now we have 2 squares, and row 2 is 2. So row 3 will have 3 squares, row 4 will have 4 squares. That's how you know. If you put it down and you're trying to figure out what row you're on, all you got to do is count your squares. Okay, so row 3, chain 2 and turn, and in that second chain from the hook again, you'll be making the falling leaf stitch. Only this time when you do your second double crochet, you're only going to make half of it. So when we go in, we're going to go through 2, and we've got 2 loops on the hook. That's because we need to change colors. So I am going to use this light blue for my background color. And then I'm going to carry this brown with me because we need to use the brown on the last stitch. So we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and then here's the right in the middle of this. This is the single that we're going to put this blue square on. And again, it is our falling leaf stitch that we are making, only with the blue. Now I'm only going to make half of it again because I'm going to bring back the brown and finish it with the brown. So that's how we change colors. Okay, and then in this last stitch, because we're skipping these 2 stitches again and going to that single crochet which is at the end and putting the brown in. Alright, so then we have brown, blue, brown. Okay, and in row 4 you'll chain 2 and turn, and you'll put 2 blues in between the 2 browns. And in row 5 you're going to put 3 blues. In row 6 you'll put 4 blues, so and so forth. So until you get to row 11 and there's 9 blues in between those 2 dark browns. So then we will be back for row 12 then, and I will see you then. Okay, so this is 11 rows, and you should have on the 11th row you should have 1 dark brown and 9 blue and a dark brown at the end. All right, so let's continue on to row 12. So we're going to chain 2 and turn, just like we've been doing. And then I'm going to start my first square with the dark brown, and then we need 2 blue, and then I'm going to bring in my regular brown, and we need 1 regular brown. And then we're going to leave that there. We're going back to our blue. And now we need 7 blue and a dark brown at the end to finish off this row. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, and then we need the dark brown. And that goes here at the end. All right, so there is 12 rows. Chain 2 and turn for row 13. Starting off with our dark brown, we are going to need 7 blue, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. And then we need to bring in the regular brown, and we need 2 regular brown, we're bringing this dark brown and blue with us, And then we need our blue. So 2 regular brown. Then we need 2 blue and 1 dark brown at the end to finish off this row. And then that's what row 13 looks like. All right, and we need to mark off 12 and 13, and then go to 14 next. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start out with our dark brown as usual. And then go to our blue. And we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. All right, and then we need a regular brown. Oh goodness, I'm trying to put the wrong brown on there. And we just need 1 regular brown next. And then switching back over to our blue, we need 8 blue and a dark brown, and that'll finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8 here. And then we're going to switch over to our dark brown and then put that one in those at the end here. Okay, so that is what row 14 looks like. And we need to mark it off. All right, so row 15, we're going to chain 1 and, or chain 2 and turn. Oh goodness. All right, and let's start out with our dark brown in that second chain from the hook. And we're going to switch over to our blue. And we need 5 blue. So there's one. Two. Three. Four. And five. And then we need to bring our brown up across here, our regular brown. And we need one brown in the next one. And then we need to go back to our blue and put two blue in. We're going to take that brown with us because we're going to need it. So there's one. And two. And then we're going to switch back over to the brown. And we need three brown. So there's one. Two. And three. And then we need two blue and a dark brown at the end to finish off this row. And that is row 15. Should have 15 squares in row 15. Now we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 16. So we'll start out with the dark brown again. And then switch over to our blue. And we're going to need two blue. So there's one. And two. And then we need a regular brown. And we need four regular brown. So there's one. Two. Three. And four. Alright, and then we need a blue. when we need to bring these browns with us. So we need just one blue. So for the next 4, we're going to be going between blue and brown. So this one is blue, and then we need our regular brown. And this one is brown. And then back to our blue for the third one. And the fourth one, we're going back to our brown. Alright, and then we're going to go back to our blue, leaving that brown behind, and we're going to finish off this row with 4 blue and a dark brown at the end. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that is row 16 and what it should look like. We'll mark that row off and get ready for 17. Alright, so let's chain 2 and turn for 17, and we'll start off with our dark brown as usual. And then we need to go to our blue, and we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our regular brown, and we need 2 of those. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need our blue, and we need 1 blue, and then we're going to switch over to our brown, and so now we need 2 brown, so there's 1, and 2, and then we need to go to our dark brown, and we're going to put 1 dark brown in here, And then going back to our brown, we need 2 brown. And now we are done with that brown. And then we're going to finish this off with 3 blue and a dark brown at the end. Alright, and so there is the row 17 and what it should look like. Let's mark that row off. Row 18 is next. Chain 2 and turn. Let's start out with this dark brown again. And then we need to bring in our blue. So we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our regular brown, and we're going to put 3 brown in. And then we need a dark brown. So we'll put 1 dark brown here. And then let's go back to our brown. And we need 5 brown next. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, and then we're done with that brown. We'll leave it behind, switch over to our blue, and we're going to finish this row off. Wait a minute. Alright, I put in one extra. I put in 6 brown. It's supposed to be 5. Sorry about that. So we got to switch over to our blue, and we're going to finish it off with 4 blue and a dark brown at the end. Alright, so there's what row 18 should look like. We'll mark it off. And get ready for row 19. Starting out with our dark brown again. And then switching over to our blue, we need 4 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. And 4. And then switching over to our regular brown, we need to put 10 regular brown in. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And then we're going to finish off this row by putting 3 blue and a dark brown at the end. Alright, and that is what row 19 looks like. Chain 2 and turn for row 20. And we'll start off with the dark brown and then switch over to the blue, and then we need 4 blue, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to switch over to the brown. Nope, the dark brown. We're switching over to the dark brown. But we're putting 1 dark brown in, but at the same time bringing this brown up because we are going to need it next. So we're putting a dark brown right here, and then we need 3 brown. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our dark brown. We're going to put a dark brown in. And then go to a regular brown. And put 3 regular brown in next. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we got to go back to the dark brown again and put 1 dark brown in next. And then back to the brown. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I hope that at the beginning of this row I said that we needed 3 blue and not 4, and I put 4 in there. So we need 3 blue, and we're supposed to have 4 blue. I mean, we need 3 blue. I put 4 blue in that I wasn't supposed to. Alright. Let's start that over again. So we're going to start out with the dark brown here. Goodness gracious. And now put 3 brown in. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then a dark brown. and then 3 brown again. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then a dark brown. And then 2 brown. We're done with that. We need to bring in the blue. We're going to finish this off. We're going to finish this row off with 4 blue and a dark brown at the end. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is row 20. You should have 20 squares in row 20. And that's what it should look like. Alright, so we need to go to row 21. Oh goodness. I pulled out the wrong one. Alright, so row 21, we're going to chain 2 and turn and start our first square with the dark brown. And we're going to switch over to blue. And we need 5 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need to go back to our dark brown. And we're going to put a dark brown in next. just one. I'm bringing up this brown with me, though, from there, so that we can go there next. We need 9 brown and then a dark brown after that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Leaving that brown behind, we'll go back to our dark brown, and we need to put dark brown next. And then we need to switch over to the blue and finish off this row with 3 blue and a dark brown at the end. Alright, and that is what row 21 looks like. Alright, so chain 2 and turn for row 22. And let's start out with our dark brown. And then we need to switch over to our blue, and we need 4 of those. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, and then we need to go back to our dark brown and put 1 dark brown here. Alright, and then go to our brown, and we need 3 brown. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we need the dark brown again. So 1 dark brown next, and then 5 brown, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we need we're done with that brown. Now we need our dark brown again, and I'll put a dark brown at the end of these browns. Just 1, and then we're going to finish off this row with 5 blue and a dark brown at the end. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need our dark brown at the end here. And that is what row 22 looks like. All right, let's mark off those 2 rows, 21 and 22. And get ready for 23. So chain 2 and turn. We'll start off with our dark brown and then switch over to blue. So we need 7 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to switch back over to our dark brown, bringing up this brown with us now. And we need to put 1 dark brown in, and then we need this brown. Alright, so we need 7 brown next. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And this is 7. And so we are done with that brown. And then we're going to switch back over to our dark brown. And we need 2 dark brown. And then we're just going to finish off this row with 4 blue and a dark brown at the end. Alright, and there is row 23 and what it should look like. Our squirrel is shaping up. And we're going to mark off row 23 here. Alright, for row 24, chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start off with our dark brown. And switching over to our blue, we need 5 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Alright, and then we need 2 dark blue. Not dark blue, dark brown. And then we go switch over to our brown and put 2 brown in. So that's 1, and 2. And then let's go back to our dark brown and put 1 dark brown in. And then we need 4 brown. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're done with that brown. We're going back to our dark brown, and we're going to put 1 dark brown in here. And then we're going to switch over to blue. Dang it, I didn't do that right. Hang on. Dark brown comes forward. Alright, now we're switching. Now we need 7 blue and a dark brown at the end to finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, and that is row 24 and what it should look like. Alright, I'll mark off that row and go on to 25. So let's chain 2 and turn for row 25. And in the first or second chain from the hook, we're going to put our dark brown in. And then we're going to switch over to blue, and we need to put 9 blue in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, and then we need to switch over to our dark brown. We need to put 2 dark brown in, but as we're doing this, we're bringing up this regular brown. So there's 1. And 2. And then our regular brown, we need 2 regular brown. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need 1 dark brown. So we'll go back to the dark brown. And then go back to the brown and put 1 brown in. And then we're done with that brown. We can put it away. Go back to our dark brown. Now we need to put 2 dark brown in. And then we're switching over to blue, and we're going to finish off this row with 6 blue and a dark brown at the end. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so this is row 25. You should have 25 squares in this row. All right, we are going to mark off row 25. This ends this video. This is half of our diamond. And when we come back tomorrow, we are going to finish our diamond, starting with row 26, but we're going to be decreasing on both ends. So that's a totally different thing. But this is what our squirrel looks like thus far. All right, and I hope you guys are having fun making these diamonds with me this year. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye now.